Hi, I'm Brandon, and this is the Dirt Church Devotional. You know, in my devotions, I really I like obscure passages in the Bible. I like things that are kind of off the beaten path. And anyway, this morning as I was reading, I was in Deuteronomy chapter 23, and in the second verse, it says that no person of illegitimate birth is allowed in the assembly of God. Which was interesting. You think about it, you go, man, it's not that kid's fault. I mean, just because his parents weren't born, and that's what, or weren't born, that was dumb, weren't married, and that's what illegitimate birth is. If your folks aren't married at the point of conception, at the time of conception, they're fooling around too early, and the kid is conceived. Anyway, God says, look, if your kids are conceived that way, they're not welcome in my assembly. I thought, man, that's kind of harsh. And then I was thinking about another passage that's a little bit obscure. It's also in the law. And it says that, that a boy who is born has to be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. If that boy is not circumcised on the 8th day after his birth, he is not allowed. He is exiled from the community, can't be part of the community there. And my goodness, you know, I mean, it's not his fault. How many 8-day-old kids, how many 8-day-old boys do you know of that have ever said, hey, you forgot something here, can you do a little snip for me? It's not going to happen. But you see, here's the reality of those two passages, those two regulations. It falls upon the parents to do the right thing for the kids. See, God doesn't have a dislove or a disapproval for the child that was born out of wedlock. He doesn't have a dislove or a disapproval for the boy who wasn't circumcised, because it's not that kid's fault. It's his parents' fault. You see, and the reality is that as parents, we have a responsibility to train up our kids. Do you realize that as a parent, now this is whether you are a Christian or a non-Christian, whether you are a believer or a non-believer, as a parent, you are the very first advocate for your child. You're that very first stopgap between them and eternal destruction, between them and right experience with God. That's your responsibility as a parent. And it drives me crazy when I hear parents say goofy things like, well, I'm not going to force my kids to go to church. Really? You know, I know a lot of parents that will force their kids to go to school, force their kids to eat their vegetables, to brush their teeth, go to the doctor, the dentist, do all these things that are good things, but on the scale of eternity don't measure up for much. But they will not force their kids to go to church. Don't you want to advocate the best for your kids? Don't you want to give them the best opportunity? That's what God is asking from you. That is the whole point of the circumcision rule and the rule of the illegitimate child is, Mom, Dad, watch how you're living. Mom, Dad, make sure you do it right so you can train them up right. That's all I got for today. Think about it. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time.